Alright, this month's Small Business Success Story features Larry Williams, who's the owner of BEK Medical Inc., and you sell home medical equipment. Larry, I want to thank you for joining me today. And let's start out a little bit about your business. What is home medical equipment?
Home medical equipment is exactly what it says it is. It's known as the industry, also as durable medical equipment. What it is basically, in a nutshell, is studies show that healing process and happiness after an injury or hospitalization are quicker at home.
So basically it's hospital beds, wheelchairs, scooters, things like that.
Yeah, correct.
And everything, and you got, how many products do you have out there?
Yeah, well...
you got like thousands, don't you?
We ourselves at our store, close to 1,000 products, and industry-wide, million, easily.
Wow.
Easily.
Yeah, it's amazing what's out there. When did you start your business?
1995.
So you've been in business 16 years?
It's
going on 17?
Going on 17 in August of 1995.
Can you believe that?
Time flies.
And what's your sales right now? You're running about
4.5, 5 million projected.
Yeah, you have how many employees are we looking at?
Close to, I believe, last count, so they grow so quickly. I believe last count was about high 30s, I believe.
Okay, so yeah, you've grown a nice business. It sounds like.
Yes, it has.
Who's your customers? Who's buying home medical equipment? I mean, you're not just selling to the end user, you're also...
Well, it's a wide range, just about everybody, providers, referral sources, and of course end users, family members. So anyone with usually a need and an injury related to home, what's the word, healings.
Yeah, home care. Plus somebody getting older, so your user also could be the care provider. Like if you have an older grandmother or something like that, so the person that could take care of them at home instead of putting them in a home.
Instead of
institutionalized.
Institutionalized, yes.
So you get a lot of those.
Of course, they're happier. Once again, they're happier and they heal quicker.
Yeah.
Just ask yourself that question.
Oh yeah.
Where would you rather be? In a
I'd
hospital
rather
or
be
at home? Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Get me out of that hospital.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Let me get out of here. Let's go back to your startup phase. You started in 1995. Was it yourself? Your wife started it, right?
Well, actually, yes, both of us.
You were both in it?
She was working she was in the industry working for another company, and she was frustrated. I had just, come and graduated with my business degree. It's a dream I always had, is to have my own business, and I guess that's quite a few Americans' dream.
Good thing or I wouldn't have a job.
She came home one day frustrated, and I said, well, why don't we just start our own now? And so we did. We started out of the house, sort of a HP story. We were living with the in-laws at the time, and we had built a little addition to the home, and we actually started in our bedroom.
Basically, the employees were you and your wife.
Yes, and then we, after they heard, my Dora was working for this other DME company at the time, and when she left, her brother and her uncle were there, but I guess the guy didn't like that, so he fired both of them. So we picked them up, and
it worked for you.
Yeah, it worked out well. We all brought a certain piece of each to the business. We had a repair guy. Joel and Dora did the sales, and I did more of the administrative.
Huh. So basically, you didn't pick the industry kind of picked you.
Yeah.
But Dora likes it and you like it, right? I mean, this is a good industry because you're really helping people.
It's a serving, yes, it's a service.
Yeah. You're really in serving other people, and that's probably why, would you say that service attitude is probably one of the biggest reasons why you've grown, isn't it?
Definitely, yes. It goes back to, I throw our beliefs system
that's
here.
Important. So, yeah.
Very believe. Jesus was a servant, and so are we, and we see the success that comes from it. it is a service industry, and you know, I've been in the service industry, you know, with the Sears, in Southwest Airlines, and Kmart's. So you know, I learned a thing or two.
And you know, we've had conversations before because, full disclosure, I'm a CPA, so I mean, but I'm a strong believer in people that succeed have a calling higher than themselves. That's why their business expands. And if I really, in what I've seen, the people that succeed, it's rare that their main focus is money. They really, and I see that with you guys. It's that caring about the customer and really trying to serve.
I believe that, sure.
And I believe that, and really it kind of guides. Would you say it kind of guides your principles? Your religious belief is important, essential. Yes. Right?
Yeah, and it's really basic. You know, it's all there, and
golden rule. And follow it. So, yeah, I think that's kind of key. When you started your business, did you have a plan, or did you just open the doors?
You're going back quite a while. I'm looking at what, 17 years. Wow,
yeah.
And last 2 years there. Yeah. No, we had a plan. I mean, yeah, we had. I don't remember it.
No, it's not that important.
Just to sell and grow and service.
Because you had a business degree, right? So you kind of came from a business background, so you had a plan and a start, right?
That's correct. And we had some little experience. We used to, my wife and I would pedal around, going to California and doing garment industry up in LA and bringing back and reselling those. Her and her mom enjoyed that. She used to do cakes, wedding cakes, and then I guess, you know, from there, it's just the buck stuck.
Hey, it works.
Yeah.
Thinking back, I mean, you had a business plan, which was probably important to getting started. Was there something you feel like you did wrong? That you would, if you could go back and start over, is there something you would change?
Never. No. The reason I say that,
I like that.
Well, yes, because, I guess yes and no. I believe in the Bible does teach that, you know, you learn from your mistakes, and your falls are really positives. You know, the more you fall, the quicker you get back up and learn and move on, and you become greater. And I think without failure, you won't have success.
Yeah, that's a key point, because too many people give up.
Right.
You know, and really challenges are there for a reason.
Yeah, and most of them don't see it that way, and that's the problem.
And sometimes it's to teach us. Sometimes teach us humility, but sometimes to teach us.
Also,
you know,
a lot of teachings in
a
lot the world views as a negative situation.
Yeah.
There's always the positive in those situations that we look for.
Your business has grown rather dramatically. From 0 to, like you said, 4.5, 5 million this year. Why? If you could pick one or two or three things, what's the biggest reason for that growth? When other people in your industry haven't. I mean, you're easily the biggest one in El Paso, right? In your field.
Well, and honestly, I guess we go back to we've seen some. We're in the right place. I believe back. You know, again, biblically, we are put here for a reason. I think that's the number one reason. And then there's a combination of things after that. You know, of course, you've helped quite a bit, Wayne. You know, a good accounting system is always critical, always very, very important. And of course, I guess thirdly would be. Service, the attitude of the owners, the people up top, which, you know, I go 110% service.
Customer
very
first.
important, yes.
Most of the time.
Well, most of the time. You know, sometimes I'll second guess that, but even with the bad, upset ones, I still make it a point, because they'll go out and tell 10. The one good customer will not tell as many. It's those, and those are the ones that you got to satisfy are the ones that are.
And that's that kind of the next question I had. You probably answered. You have a very loyal fan base, and it probably is because of that, putting them first. And you're really a large part of what you're trying to do is solve their problems and make their life easier. And it comes
simple.
Across, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Very simple, makes it easy.
So, looking at other DMEs, other people in retail that are in your industry or even in that, is that I mean, it seems like the industry you're in would attract people like that. So what it differentiates BEK from them?
I think once again it's the condition of their heart, where they're at. I think, and I heard and I seen a lot of it for the wrong reason.
What we talked about earlier.
Yes, the wrong reasons.
And you mentioned something too that we also going to be in this issue. We have an interview with Ray Aguilar, and he mentioned having a team of people to help, and it makes a difference. He kind of surprised me because we're talking about getting an SBA loan, but that's something they're looking at, and so we're there to help you, and you've got some good people to help, which is nice. What do you think? What were some of the biggest challenges you faced growing from 0 or 800,000? Let me rephrase that. A lot of businesses get to 500,000 or $1 million in sales, but get past that to 2, 3, 4 million. Not very many people make it there. And so you've had some of the same kind of growing pains. I mean, 30 people, you probably never thought you were going to manage 30 people.
That's the biggest challenge we've had.
There it is right there.
People
People.
issue. Yeah. And always will be from now on. Oh yeah, definitely HR and staffing the right people and hiring the right people, and definitely would be the biggest challenge.
So that's always going to be a problem in learning. How are you thinking about addressing it, or that's still ongoing?
Always will be.
Always will be.
When you're dealing with people, you have all sorts of personalities and way to motivate, and so it's ongoing. Every time you get a new one, there's something different, and each one is different, you know. Yeah. It's nice if you could have them all the same, and you know, you know what each one wants.
Those are called robots.
Yeah,
I haven't been able to find that yet.
Yeah,
to God.
Wrong industry. I guess if we go to a manufacturer, we could have robots. Maybe that's the whole idea behind the automobile.
Maybe
something with robots.
They sell to robots. Get rid of people. Yeah, because that's the problem. People bring their own biases, their own history, their own problems.
They all have,
and even they could be great for 6 years, and then something changes, and all of a sudden you got, what the heck happened? And you got to actually dig in and make that decision. So yeah, people, that's a good one. During this growth phase, was there something unexpected or that hit you, or that you, looking back, that you didn't really see coming, or not really?
At the moment, yeah, I had no clue that the insurance industry was so complex and so ever changing. If anything, there is no sense of it, especially the government end of it. There's no rhyme or reason. Some of our conversations with some of the representatives of these programs are they're doozies. I got stories that would make another interview in itself.
Yeah, basically just so we can expand on that. You're doing a lot of billings with health insurances, the private insurance with Medicare and Medicaid are the ones that drive you crazy. And that's probably what we were talking about leading up to the next thing. One of the challenges, like you've opened a retail store, going heavy into that, and going to basically have a website pretty soon, right? What is it, BEKmedical.com?
That's correct.
Okay. We'll put it in the article and link to it so they can check it out. So you're going to have a web store up pretty soon, hopefully, by sometime in September.
Yes, that's what I'm targeting.
That's what we're hoping for. Everything works. We've been working
on
it for a year.
Yes, we're going to keep on going, though. We keep falling, but we get up.
There you go.
Yeah.
So basically, that's your reaction. And you saw this coming 4 years ago. I remember us having this conversation in 2003, 2004. That's why you opened the retail store.
And very many are going to take the leap. It's a big leap. It's a big leap, and not many have. Looks like still are. A lot of them are closing down rather than going into the retail area.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad because you're still serving people. It's just a different way of serving them.
Yeah.
All right. I don't see that changing. Do you? Medicare, Medicaid is just going to get worse.
Exactly. That's the projections. Medicare and Medicaid are in Texas. Medicaid is a little better than the other states, but are definitely in trouble at this. everybody knows about that, and they're going to one place. They're cutting us and expecting the private sector to come up with a little more of their share.
So they're cutting your reimbursements, but your costs are going up.
There are also.
And who gets hurt in the end?
Nice challenges.
Yeah, and who gets hurt in the end is the people that, the end customer.
Yeah, the ones that cannot really afford it.
Right. And that's the difference with retail and the web store. You're actually changing a little bit to people that can buy it themselves. So it's a little higher up level. It's kind of a shame because you've always tried to help people with the Medicare, Medicaid.
Yeah. Well, as we
you're
speak,
still doing it, right? But I mean, it's just
yeah. But as we speak, there are certain items that Medicare or some of those programs won't cover anyway. Like usually, Medicare stops right outside the bathroom door. Or anything in there
really?
is not covered by.
That makes no sense.
Right. Yeah, they have certain
weird rules, like you just said. Yeah.
Luxury items, they call it, I think, or unnecessary items. So.
We kind of talked about the next two, but I mean, you're talking about expanding. What are your expansion plans? You're looking at Dallas, I know that. How big are you thinking about making this? Or
what again, we go back. It depends on prayer. Where right now, it is in Dallas, and then after that, we'll see, where the Lord takes us from there. That's what me and my wife, base it on. We had a hard time, not a hard time, but we were going to expand here in El Paso, and that didn't work out because something was greater for us. It seems like we are going to, projected to open up a store in Dallas, hopefully this year. And then such a large area, it could be multiple stores with a combination website, national.
Well, one of the keys is to be flexible.
Yeah.
And see where it goes. Yeah, and then the internet, we really don't know what that's going to do we? I mean, and that's kind of where I was going. How has the internet and social media, you feel, changed the way the customer interacts with your company? Or has it yet?
I don't see a big, because we're not there yet. But I can see a big potential.
Yeah.
And I realize too, and that's why we are spending some, resources in that area, because that is the way.
Yeah, that's just what's coming. So you're looking forward.
Yes.
Yeah. You are seeing people prices compare though, aren't you?
Oh yeah. I do it myself. So.
Yeah, don't we all? So it's important to really review your pricing strategy, which you guys are doing. You usually do all the time, don't you?
That's correct.
Yeah. I wanted to finally finish because, business is business, but business affects your family. And, I'm just curious, your family works with you. Your wife, you mentioned, you got your kids.
Yeah, my wife.
2 out of your 3 daughters? Plus your wife's family?
My third, she says she works a lot. But
that's right, you got all 3 there. I'm sorry. Yeah, I see 2 most of the time, yeah. So, plus you got your wife's family, you used your mother-in-law or your mother, I forget, commercials.
Oh yeah. My mother-in-law and my grandmother-in-law, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. There's some good commercials too. They're on YouTube. You got to check them out. They're kind of funny. Has that been good working with your family? Bad?
We had
a little of both.
Yes, a little of both.
So what are the good things of working with family?
I guess the good things working with family, you get a trust and a loyalty. I guess a little more.
Yeah.
Caring for you. Yeah.
I mean, I got to hear. My wife works with me, and I don't even know what's in the bank account. I would never do that with an employee.
Right.
I don't even look.
Yeah.
I
so
don't
you
care.
Trust them.
Yeah, because she wants to take it. It's hers anyways.
Right.
I don't care. But you wouldn't do that with an employee.
Right.
So that's what you're talking about, right? Yeah. Bad things.
They come to their comfort zone, and it's hard to push them out of it. So I figure someday I could do a lot more if, I could replace them, but, I owe that to them. That's my sacrifice to it, but I could also...
it's a little hard to fire your wife. My wife works with me, too.
Right.
I always joke she's semi-retired. She just hasn't told me, but then I'm not the boss, so why would she tell me? But it is a little harder. You got to be a little more careful when you're right. You're married. You got to go home. You try not to take work home, or that's pretty hard not to, isn't it?
You know what? We managed to.
You set some rules?
Yeah,
or?
you know, once in a while we'll have a discussion at home, but it's interesting. We go home and leave work at work.
Yeah. I sometimes have trouble with that, but we tend to try to go like to lunch if we're going to do something
Yeah,
serious.
because you're still...
you might talk at home, but it's not really making decisions or anything, right?
Right.
You know, but if you're going to do something that needs to be talked
Once in a big issue, yes, but normally no.
How about wives is one thing, what about children? How hard is that to work with?
Patience, a lot of patience.
Isn't that the secret to having kids?
Yeah, but the whole idea
patience.
is you're teaching them, and you know, so the job shouldn't start at work. You do the same thing at home, so you're.
There you go.
You know, that's an attitude one should have, I believe.
Does it cause problems for other employees having your kids there? My daughter works with me, so full disclosure, I understand.
I'm sure there's some, you know, they probably know, but they know that we try to keep it where there's no favoritism.
Well, there's going to be favoritism.
Yeah,
they know that, you know that.
They'll get away, but they're not going to go and you know totally take advantage of it. So
disrespect it.
Right.
That's
exactly.
kind of the key. And again, if you've done your job since they were kids, since they were born, usually they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see your kids doing that.
No, not at all. If they did, I wouldn't have them there because I know it would be a very negative environment.
Yeah, and the same thing with brothers and nephews and uncles. You've got like just about. Is there anybody in your family that doesn't work with you?
My mom.
That's about it, huh? But like I said, there's a lot of good advantages, and there's some tax advantages too. You're spreading it among them. You're going to pay.
Yes, you showed me that.
Yes, definitely. And we'll talk about that in a tax issue. We're not going to waste time here. You've owned businesses. Some of the people who are going to watch this don't. They're thinking about opening a business. All right. What are some of the advantages you feel of being your own boss? You're never your own boss, even if you. Sorry if I worded that wrong.
First of all, get that out of your head.
Yeah, you're not your own.
You always will have a boss somewhere
matter of fact,
somehow.
The difference is if you've got 6,000 customers, you've got 6,000 bosses, and sometimes your employees are your bosses. Or, I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Actually,
suppliers.
At one time, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Question?
Yeah, I was actually never got to it. It was what are one of the advantages of owning your own business? I mean, what do you think?
The thing I enjoyed most, I could literally, it's a double-edged sword. I literally could do whatever I want, whenever I want, just about. You know, which is exciting for me. I could jump into any department at any time, and you know, you could never get bored. You should never say you're bored. There's so many areas that you could, you know, touch. And that'd be the most biggest advantage I see. And of course, taking off whenever you want.
Which probably helps with the kids, right? When they were little, you were able to get to school things probably.
Yeah, that was a big advantage. But when you're starting, out, that wasn't true. You were going quite a bit. It's when you start getting employees, when you start benefiting from those.
Disadvantages of owning your own business? You're
responsible for quite a few things. You have a lot of accountability, and you really, if you're to succeed, you have to have a servant attitude. You know, me and Dora, we really believe that we are. Don't tell these employees this, but that we are their employees. We are there for them. We have that servant attitude. You know, if they need a tool, we go out and go buy them that tool so they get to do that job. You know, and I think that's made all the difference. And it comes from the biblical teachings. You know, and that's what Jesus was. He was a servant, and look how well he did. You know, there's a lot of best management book you could ever. But people don't see it, but it is clearly there.
Yeah. And truthfully, you're right. I mean, I've told you, I mean, the manager's job is really pretty easy. You set the direction, you make sure they have the tools, you measure the results, and you repeat. I mean, it's, but notice I said they got to have the ability to do their job. And if you set them up for failure,
shame on you.
Yeah, exactly. I guess the last thing I had on here, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to say, or we pretty much covered everything?
I think that, you were pretty thorough.
And pretty quick by my standards. Well, Larry, I want to thank you. Appreciate it. Look forward to working with you.
We would like to thank Larry Williams for his interview. If you would like to be considered for our small business success story, please email wayne@isbmag.com with your success story, and we will contact you if your story has been chosen. Until next time, let's make this year your most profitable ever.